Hey everyone, welcome back to Reddit Reader. I'm Alex, and if you're new here, this is where we dive into the most jaw-dropping, thought-provoking stories from the depths of Reddit. Trust me, today's story is going to have you questioning everything about good intentions and cultural boundaries. Now, before we jump in, and oh boy, are we jumping into some deep waters today, let me ask you this. Have you ever tried to help someone and ended up making things so much worse that you questioned your entire existence? Well, buckle up, because today's story from Am I the Asshole is about a mom who thought she was giving good advice, but, well, let's just say her son had some very strong words for her. This one comes from a 37-year-old white woman who's clearly struggling with a situation that's way more complex than she initially realized. And honestly, I can already feel the tension building just reading this title. Let's dive in. I'm a 37-year-old female, a white woman, out of my depth on this topic and too scared to ask anyone who is African-American face-to-face. Okay, pause. Already we're getting some serious honesty here about feeling out of her depth. That's actually pretty self-aware. My son's, he's 14, first girlfriend is an African-American girl who's 13, who we'll call Nina. Usually, when I see her, she's a bubbly social butterfly. She smiles a lot and is very talkative. So far, so good. Sounds like Nina's typically a confident, outgoing kid. Recently, I noticed Nina seeming less confident the times I see her. Her change in demeanor was the most noticeable change, but I also noticed the recent lack of wig, makeup, and jewelry. I didn't even realize the two things were connected. Now, this is where things get interesting. Mom's picking up on some changes, but doesn't immediately connect the dots. I mean, to be fair, if you're not familiar with the cultural significance, you might not realize how these things are connected. One day, I was to drive them to a party. My son was upstairs, and Nina was downstairs. She looked like she was dreading going to this party, and I asked her what's wrong. She said she doesn't feel pretty. Ooh. That hits right in the heart, doesn't it? A 13-year-old saying she doesn't feel pretty? That's rough at any age, but especially at 13. I asked her why, and she said she's still getting used to showing her natural hair. I asked her if she feels uncomfortable showing her hair. Why is she doing it? She said my son thinks she looks cooler this way. And there it is. The plot thickens. So the boyfriend, or son, prefers the natural hair look, but Nina's clearly struggling with it. I told her I used to do things just to impress boys when I was her age. I told her she can wear a wig even if my son doesn't want her to. Now, in a vacuum, that sounds like pretty solid advice, right? Don't change yourself for a boy, that's parenting 101. But context is everything here, and we're about to see why context matters so much. Days later, I've never seen my son more angry with me than that day. He said I'm a white woman, and I shouldn't be advising a black girl how to look. He called me an overhearing mom and a Karen. I was too shocked to speak, as I never seen him so angry. Am I the asshole? Whoa. Whoa. Did anyone else just feel that tension skyrocket? A 14-year-old just called his mom a Karen and told her to stay in her lane when it comes to giving advice about black hair and beauty standards. That's a lot to unpack. Okay, Reddit community, I need a moment here because this story is hitting on so many levels. On one hand, you've got a mom who saw a young girl struggling with confidence and tried to give what sounds like universally good advice. Don't change yourself for a boy. That's the kind of advice we'd give to any teenager, right? But then you've got her son, who clearly understands something his mom doesn't about the cultural complexity of black hair, natural hair movements, and the politics around black women's appearance choices. A 14-year-old understanding intersectionality better than his mom? That's either really impressive or really telling about where we are as a society. And can we talk about Nina for a second? This poor girl is caught in the middle of what sounds like a really complex situation involving her own cultural identity, her boyfriend's preferences, and now family drama. At 13! That's a lot of pressure. What do you think, Reddit family? Was mom genuinely trying to help, or did she overstep? And more importantly, what should she do now? Because that relationship with her son is clearly strained, and Nina's probably feeling even more uncomfortable than before. This one really got me thinking, and I know it's got you thinking too. Drop a comment below. I genuinely want to hear your perspectives on this because it's way more nuanced than it first appears. Are you team mom for trying to boost a young girl's confidence, or team son for calling out cultural overstepping? Or maybe you've got a completely different take. If stories like this make you think, make you question, or just make you grateful for your own family drama, smash that like button. And if you want more deep dives into Reddit's wildest moral dilemmas, trust me, it only gets more intense from here.